Hello everybody. Hi, my name's Maria. Happy Saturday. Happy second Saturday in October already. October's slipping away, you guys. It's just September, I was saying. I can't stand how fast this season is going. There's far too many pumpkins up in gourds already, and I just really want the season to slow down. Really slow down so I can enjoy it. It's going too fast. Okay, so what I'm making today is a really nice peasant, but just a simple peasant food that is really a Turkish dish. There's no special seasonings you need. There's no Turkish specialties to it. I've seen this dish made an Italiano way, a Spanish way, Polish way. Whatever you add to it will make it whatever you want it to be, right? So you're working with potatoes that are mashed. So I have 3 russet potatoes that I peeled and boiled, and then I mashed them up with about 2/3 of a cup to a little more of warm milk, and about 3/4 of a cup of, I've got ricotta cheese in there. Found this recipe on Turkish Festive Dishes, and I love everything she cooks, and this is lovely for a rainy, dim day. So what I have here is almost a tablespoon of extra virgin olive oil, and almost a tablespoon, about 3/4 of unsalted butter. And then I'm going to put 2 tablespoons of all-purpose flour right into my butter. So I'm going to make what looks like a roux at first, but I'm just going to add milk to it. So it's going to be a bechamel sauce with a little nutmeg and salt. If you had, not much salt, if you had, because there's a lot of salt in the rest of the dish, I'll show you what I mean. So you're just going to cook your flour out. And I've buttered a big deep dish pan here. I'm going to get this going, right? And I want it to smell almost like pie crust. And I don't even have my heat on here. This is how hot this burner is. It's a runaway burner, which I'm going to get fixed this week. If I could. Vicky, if you see this, I called for the maintenance man. He was supposed to come Thursday. He was supposed to come Friday. I stayed home all day and waited. This really has to be taken care of. There is no heat on at all. It's a runaway burner. It turns red hot and just goes crazy. So it's time to switch it out. And I've got a light bulb in my bathroom that goes out every other day. You can buy as many light bulbs as you want. So I don't have no heat on. See how that's working? Nothing's on. So once I get it to a little bit on, it goes red hot and it takes forever to go off. Yeah. So I have to stay home and wait. That's why I'm always waiting for the maintenance. I mean, I don't know what they think. I'm like, hello. The manager says I gave it to the maintenance man and he will be over to check it. I'm like, okay, this really isn't cool. It's going red hot, red hot, red hot. In here I have onions, mushrooms, and baby Bella mushrooms, if they were like this big, about 16 ounces or 500 grams, close to 500 grams, chopped up, right? And in 4 tablespoons of olive oil is what the recipe calls for. I cut that back. 1 large onion and about 300 grams, about a pound, almost like a pound of baby spinach or spinach with all the leaves cut off. So that's what's in here. It's just, I just cooked it until all the, it looks black. I want to turn this, get it into the proper light here. So it's just olive oil, mushrooms, onions, and a little bit of garlic. And you're really going to cook it on high till you get all the juices out of it. Your mushrooms and onions and spinach will give off some juice. So you want to keep your cover off, let it cook. And then over here, I'm going to turn it on, but I'm scared. I'm scared to turn it on. Okay. So the whole idea of this recipe is so easy. You can add to your potatoes whatever you want. Chicken broth, ricotta cheese, cottage cheese, milk, half and half. Whatever you got. When this starts smelling like pie crust, I'm going to get just a little darker. I want it to be blonde because I want it to be a bechamel sauce. I'm going to start adding a little bit of 2% milk. If you have half and half and you want to use that, you can. Any cheese you have can work. You're just going to layer your potatoes on the bottom. And then you're going to layer your mushroom, spinach, onion, garlic over the potatoes. And then you're going to pour your bechamel sauce over it. And then you can use a cheese like mozzarella, or you can use a mix of Swiss and cheddar and cheese over the top in the oven at 350 until golden brown. So everything is cooked. We'll just need the bechamel sauce to golden up. So everybody likes a different consistency to start adding their liquid to with a bechamel. I'm going to go with what I usually do for like a moussaka, which is just make sure my flour is cut out and it looks kind of golden. Like, it's like a pale mustard color is what I'm going for. As soon as it starts bubbling over like that, I mean, you cook the flour out. Make sure you get all your flour down the side. Right? Tasty and yummy. And I usually cook my flour out with my butter or olive oil, whatever I'm using, or the fat of the meat or whatever, vegetables, whatever I've started, until it gets to about there. And then I start adding milk. And it could be cold milk. I'm using 2%. You can use half and half. I'm just going to put a little in at a time. And I don't want any more than about a cup and a half. So I just want a little bit of sauce to cover this. And the cheese is going to go over that. And this I would babysit a little bit. So you're just going to get it all melded together. And as it thickens, see what you need. I definitely need a little bit more milk than that. And that's probably going to be enough. And I will come back and show it to you when it's all, I'll layer it up and show it to you. Okay, so this is kind of what I want my bechamel to look like. It's like that. And I have a couple of lumps in there, but they will cook out. They're fine. Every time you add a splash of milk or loosen it up, just, again, start whisking the bejiggers out of it. And let it cook. It really just needs to cook, but don't let it scorch. Right? So this is like, I'm going to say almost like custard, but if you can make a figure 8 on your wooden spoon, you're okay. You could use a little whisker to get every little lump out of there. I am just trying not to go too high on my heat there. I'm keeping it on low. Once it starts bubbling, though, it'll get those out. I've got my mashed potatoes in my pan. And I've just evened them out pretty good. That's all you really want to do. Alright, you can see. Alright. I've got a pinch of salt in this because I used unsalted butter. And a good dash of nutmeg. And see what it's doing that? I'm going to turn it off because that's on that. It's going to start bubbling away. Alright. I'm going to turn it right off. So now, if I can keep the fruit and produce flies away from this time of year, you open an onion and cut it up, man. You got little fruit flies flying everywhere. Okay, so what I did was I added about a tablespoon of ricotta cheese to my mushroom, spinach, onion mix. And I'm just piling it on this. And I'm using my oldest, cruddiest cooking sheet that I can find. Because I don't want anything going on my stove, my oven inside. So when you start pouring the bechamel over it, it might, it could got high sides on that, but I would use a good casserole dish. I just really wanted to make this in a pie platter. No reason really, I just thought it would look prettier than some of the dishes I had for it. You're just gonna do this, see? Just like a little pizza. Just gonna layer it. I mean, there's nothing really Turkish about this, but if you go to her channel, Turkish Festive Dishes, she has a lot of really lovely dishes, right? That looks good to me. Now, I'm going to rinse this really quick because I want to get my sauce on there without getting spinach on the top of it. Alright. So now is where you can actually throw some Pecorino Romano cheese or whatever cheese you have. I'm just using plain Parmesan cheese from Tops because I didn't feel like, just a little bit. Just that's it. A little bit. And then I'm going to take a fork and spread that around a little bit. Chop it up. It could be everywhere. Okay. You don't need to do this. So I'm like putting a little bit of an Italiano flair to it, but you don't have to do that. But I am. Right. And then this we're just going to pour over the top. Scrape all that out. And just go all over the top. Scraped out my pan real quick. Oops. I'll pour the rest of it in here. Alright. Ready? So I am scraping my pan, you guys. So I can't hold the phone and do that at the same time. Alright. So now, it's just bechamel. That's it. Just a bechamel sauce. Done. And then, thank you to Turkish Festive Dishes. I'll be going there for all of her dishes. I mean, you could put any flair you want. If you wanted to put an egg in your, I know, I think of so many dishes that my grandmother used to make, sort of like this. That's my oven. Sort of like this, my mom's mom, and she would put egg in her ricotta, just like she was going to make lasagna, or she would put it in the potatoes, sort of like a moussaka, which is kind of like, I always think, kind of the Greek version of lasagna, I think. So that's that. And then I'm just going to put some mozzarella cheese over the top of it. That's it. Now you could cook up whatever you want. Right? I'm making a mess with the cheese. I'll have to pick it all up and eat it, won't I? You don't have to go cuckoo crazy with this. I'm using part skimp, so. You're only going to cook it at 350 until it's golden. I'm going to make sure this is totally covered, though. Instead of doing like a cheese sauce, we did bechamel. And the bechamel sauce should kind of like poof up a little bit, almost like a moussaka would, or eggplant, or anything you did a bechamel sauce for. It'll be a little bit more poofy. So I know my hands are clean, so this is going in. Alright. So I'd say about a half a cup I'm using. Just making sure there's no bare spots there, although it's going to cover up just fine. And I'm also making sure I don't have any mozzarella on my cookie sheet because I don't want it burning in the oven. And nothing's over the edge because I don't want my mozzarella burning. That's it. I'm going to put it in the oven and I'll show you it when it's done. Okay, so I've done a little cleanup and it's been almost 25 minutes at a 350 stove. I am going to push this up in a minute, but I want to show you what it looks like when it's baking. It's been almost 25 minutes, almost 30, and you can see, ouch, jeez, I need one more burn on me, that it's starting to puff up on the corner. That's what we want it to do. And that bechamel sauce will help it to just puff up a little bit so there's no liquid in it. Oh, you could leave your oven a little open if you want and let it just keep cooking. And just like a souffle, don't make it too crazy in your kitchen. Nothing crazy happening here. I'm just bopping around cleaning. And that's it. I mean, I'm ready to take it out once the center gets just a little golden brown and starts to puff up. And I might bump it up to 375. Depends on my oven. It's going to go right here. And then I'm going to put a lid over it. Once it pops up, and it will kind of go down and look really pretty. And I'll show it to you then. Okay, and this is the finished result. I'll turn a light on. See it? Go. It's sizzling. Let's listen to it sizzle. It's got the butter in it. All right, so I'm guessing you're really going to want to let this sit. And then all the juices will calm down. There really wasn't that much juice, but I did butter the side of the pan, so I think that gave it some juice. And spinach and mushrooms and onions are going to keep giving off a little juice. And of course, there's always going to be a little juice from the mozzarella cheese. But my bechamel sauce is making a little poof, which I like. And it's definitely cooked, but I'm going to test it right in the center with a wooden. Yeah, it's clean, it's good. And we could do it over here. And so that's just milk from the, it's cheese is what it is. Little bits of cheese. Looks a little milky right there. That's cheese. Cheese. Okay. So I'm going to be clear about that. But you're going to let it sit. It'll keep baking. I'm tasting to make sure I got, yeah. So it's done. But you want to cook it until your toothpick comes out, you know, well clean. But if you put your toothpick in right away, or chopstick like I'm doing, you will get some of the mozzarella or whatever cheese you used on it with the ricotta in it. So don't worry about it. And you can always set it back in the oven on warm and just let the top of it set a little more. You can do whatever you like around 175, 200. Or you can just bump it up to 375 if you want to get the center as dark as your edges. But I think it's going to be good. Yeah. I'll let it sit. So that's it. So I got that on FestiveTurkishDishes.com. No, Festive Turkish Dishes YouTube. And that's my Saturday share. And it is gluten-free. And it is vegetarian. If I didn't put the butter in it and the milk, it would have been vegan. And, you know, I mean, just what you choose. If you choose olive oil and maybe, like some kind of almond milk or something would have been fine. Or rice milk would have been fine. And your mashed potatoes or even potato milk. Any of that would have been fine. But because I put the ricotta cheese in it and the cheese and everything. Only thing is, it's not going to be, you know, if you have to pick a cheese that's vegan. They have them, but I think they're boring. So it's pretty much a vegetarian dish. It's definitely not low carb. But it's comforting and peasanty and economical. 3 potatoes. 1 container of mushroom. 1 onion. Little garlic. Dash of nutmeg. Salt. Pepper. Butter. Unsalted. Olive oil. A little bit of milk. You can use evaporated milk. You can use powdered milk. You can use almond milk for your roux. You can use whatever. If you don't like dairy, you can use chicken broth to make your roux. Just put it over it. You can use vegetable broth. It would still make a roux. It wouldn't make a bechamel, I don't think, but it would make a roux. All right, that's all I got. Thank you to Turkish Festive Dishes. Yum, yum. I love your food. So I wanted to show you I made it. I'm going to look on the bottom and see if it's... I know I should let it sit more. Oh, it's done. Yeah. Oh, looky, looky. Yummers, yummers. It's done. So just let it sit and it'll calm down and set for you. Have a nice day. Enjoy Saturday. Thanks for hanging with me. Bye.